So what game are we taking a look at this week? It's Sega's Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator. Set phasers to fun. The Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator arcade game by Sega was the first official Star Trek arcade video game. Released in 1982, it was inspired in part by the Kobayashi Maru simulator seen in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
We are now in violation of treaty, Captain.
Battle station. Activate shields.
Shields activated.
Alert. Klingon torpedoes activated. Alert.
Evasive action.
Shields collapsing, Captain.
Its vector graphics display was meant to mirror those seen in the beginning of the film. The game was ported by Sega to non-vector versions for several of the better-known game systems of the day, namely the Atari 2600, Atari 5200, ColecoVision, Apple II, Atari 8-bit computer family, the Commodore 64, VIC-20, but most notably, the TI-9948 version, which did include digitized speech.
Entering Sector 2.1.
The arcade game was released in two versions. The standard upright game cabinet was modeled and fashioned after similar machines of the day, with a standard screen and control layout. In addition, there was a special captain's chair sit-down model that was fashioned to simulate that of the bridge of the retrofit Star Trek USS Enterprise that was first seen in Star Trek the Motion Picture. Its controls were built into the chair, which the player sat, with in-game screens simulated in the separate console in front of the player. In both cases, the game included a rudimentary voice simulator, which used Scotty's voice to give you commands and Spock's to welcome you aboard and announce the entry into each sector.
Play Star Trek. Be the captain of the Starship Enterprise. Press player 1. Welcome aboard, Captain. Entering Sector 3.4. Damage the handset.
Neither was the actual actor's voice, but a computerized interpretation. The gameplay consisted of piloting the Enterprise through various space sectors, which have starbases that are under attack by Klingon cruisers, mysterious alien antimatter ships, and the Nomad probe from the original series, The Changeling. The player steers a ship by rotating a knob, either on the upright console's front or the sit-down left arm of the chair. The game's screen is divided into three sections. The upper left shows the player's score as well as the ship's amount of shield energy, green line, photon torpedoes, red boxes, and warp energy, a blue line. The upper right gives an overall view of the sector, including enemy ships and the starbases. The starbases you can dock with to re-energize your shield, restock your torpedoes, and repair your ship. The lower part of the screen shows a direct forward view, similar to the view screen of the Star Trek bridge. The player has only one ship to use. If it's destroyed, it's game over. The ship can be attacked by Klingon ships either by disruptor fire or by collision, by the antimatter saucer, which drains the Enterprise's warp power if it comes in contact with the ship, or by Nomad and the special mines it lays.
I am Nomad.
Damage is first absorbed by the shields, which you would see in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, which is in green. When drained, any additional hits takes them offline. Further hits destroy the proton torpedo controls and any torpedoes the player has. The next hit takes out the warp drive. One more hit destroys the ship entirely. Any and all damage can be repaired by docking with a starbase. The game has 40 simulation levels to play through. The format is usually 5 attack waves by Klingons and saucers, followed by an empty sector in which Nomad lays mines. In the Klingon levels, there are 3 versions of the Klingon cruisers: red, which immediately target the starbases; purple, which comes after the Enterprise with disruptor fire; and white, which try to ram the Enterprise. All 3 types can be destroyed by single phaser or torpedo hits. A further note, a red Klingon ship turns purple if it destroys the starbase it fires on, and a purple ship can turn white if you take too long to clear the sector. The saucers can only be destroyed with a single phaser hit, as antimatter torpedoes has no effect. In the Nomad levels, Nomad must be destroyed before it can escape the sector. The mines he lays can be destroyed by phaser fire, torpedoes, or collision, but their blast area can cause damage to the ship, so they are best to either be left alone or destroyed by distance. Like the antimatter saucers, Nomad can only be hit by phaser at close range. it's shielded from torpedo attack. Surprisingly, a Vectrex arcade system port titled Star Trek The Motion Picture came out about the same time, but only bears minor resemblance to this game in graphics and gameplay. It was not a port of the arcade game. So that's it for this week. Be sure to join us next week for another Game of the Week. Until then, remember to tell your family and your friends you love them, and remember in your free time to always game on.
Welcome aboard, Captain.